on their end. So not every automation looks like this, but this is one way that you can utilize automation there. So
Yeah.
the video doesn't have sound, but
Yeah, well, you can see here they've got what they call no code drag and drop
yeah,
automation. Yeah, automation. So here you can see they've got it's literally just dragging these different automations or these different functions
that's
to
yeah.
create a chain of events. If this happens, then that happens. So you've got approvals, an email needs to go out. Well, who does the email go to? You can create then those automations through this drag and drop no code programming. It and of course, this company, trying to figure this out, you need to learn it first, but it's not that difficult. And because it's visual, you're able to see how to utilize it and how to maybe change the templates that you're given on the front end that you start with, because, obviously the company, or we're not going to leave you hanging to try and figure out how to create these automations. But once you learn how to do it, you can, all sorts of, you can just, like if you get to a job site and the safety supervisor there wants a copy of your FLHA every day, well, you can easily create an automation to add them into that when your software, when you're signing off on it, and it gets stored in a specific location tagged to your job, but it also sends an email automatically to the site safety officer. So there's tons of different options and different ways that you can utilize those sort of drag and drop automations in this software, which is this is for sure one of best in class for when it comes to automation and customizing it the way you want it to work. So there's others out there as well, for sure, but this one's really super interesting.
Yeah, and the idea is really to remove those, maybe you're sending the same email constantly to a client at a certain step. That's where the automation can come in handy, where you put in your email template, and it automatically sends it with the right, the right name. Then you're going to have the contract signing. So as soon as they say as soon as you send an email, for example, you'll want to also send the contract signing. That gets automated. That's where you get granular with the level of automation that you want or need for your specific case, which goes back to why we were saying mapping those integrations is super important so that you know exactly what you want to integrate together and what you want that sequence of actions
Yeah.
that you want there. That's super important. So mapping it out first helps when you get to that phase. I was going back to what I was saying at the beginning. It's very deliberate: communication, integration, and automation. You need to go through all three phases to get to the automation. Automation is really the last step. Once you really have a system in place, you have a standard procedure, you've created all your integration mappings, and you have the information connected together. Then you get to that phase where you can just systemize it and automate and get things rolling, so that these sequences are happening without you having to manually do them.
Yeah. In reference to, you talk about standard operating procedures, in a lot of most companies, not a lot of most companies, it's inferred. It's common knowledge. It's like the rules of golf. Everybody plays golf. Everybody knows the rules of golf, but how many golfers have read the rules? Not many, I guarantee you. Um, so what's really important is getting those standard operating procedures, mapping them out, showing the data or the workflow. It's different than a data flow. You have a workflow from whether it's invoicing. There's a specific standard operating procedure for invoicing. Who produces the invoice? What are who collects all the different data to make sure that all of the, everything is relevant, everything is entered into that invoice, and then how does it get entered into the accounting software or the project management software? Who approves it? And then how it gets forwarded on to the client, and then when is the follow-up on that, etc. So there's a standard operating procedure for that. And if you can map that, and then once you have that mapped, everybody understands it, it's visible, it's common knowledge, and it's written down. We like I said, we like to show these nice data flow maps. So we have create workflow maps. There was actually a workflow map there that Audrey showed. So you create those, then people can understand visually because a lot of people are visual learners. This will also help people to think, oh, wait a minute, maybe we can create an automation for that. And where do approvals need to be